Hey everybody, Dogbert here, and I wanted to talk about DD5 planning and character building in general after the latest blog post on 3/4/2022. This blog post was huge and has changed quite a bit about for planning for DD5 and for the future. In case you're not familiar, I'll quick bring that blog post up. So here's the blog post talking about the first horseman or horse person in this case, because technically this is a woman, not a man. So whatever. But Morgan Le Fay. Now they say she is going to be mostly arena with her team of Darkhold. When you look at her absolutely ridiculous kit, though, the only thing tied to arena is getting extra barrier. Everything else happens outside of arena. This is truly a legendary character, and she is legitimately tagged legendary, as she should be. She is also a mystic. That brings another problem with mystic gear, and this Darkhold team, which we don't know other than Morgan Le Fay and Scarlet Witch. We don't know what Scarlet Witch is going to look like. Does she stay the same with just bump stats? Does her kit change? We don't know. We don't know who else is joining them. At this point, with it being called the Darkhold, it's more than likely going to be five mystic characters total. 5 mystic characters that we have to build, because I doubt too many people have Scarlet Witch built. That's a lot of mystic gear that we'll be looking to put into a new arena team. There's even more things that this impacts. The second thing, closely tied to Morgan Le Fay, is her Scourge event. The fact that it goes up to, they're talking gear tier 19, and you need Web Warriors or Dark Hunters for difficulty 6 and beyond, so right here, those, means you're going to need the Web Warriors and Dark Hunters for a long time, if not for quite a few years. Web Warriors are the newest raid team that just came out, their bio. We're not going to see another bio raid team for quite a while. Of course, we desperately need a tech team. We actually could use a new mutant team as well. So now, with all this said, Web Warriors and Dark Hunters are probably the safest characters you could build for now and for the future. Of course, Web Warriors being that team, and Dark Hunters will there'll probably be some kind of mixed match you have to do to get through these higher difficulties in order to get through certain nodes. It's not going to be straightforward. You can just bring Web Warriors and win, or you can just bring Dark Hunters and random 5th and win. They're not going to make it that easy. So let's go look at our rosters now. So with all this being said, new Mystic characters, Dark Hunters and Web Warriors being needed for Morgan Le Fay, we have to now continue with our Dark Dimension 5 planning. We also have to think about the future because we're putting a lot of gear, a lot of resources to get to Dark Dimension 5 to get Dormammu, who does not matter. He simply does not matter. We can defeat Dormammu right now without Dormammu. He does not matter in arena. I have an arena that has a person with Dormammu, and he doesn't even bother using him on defense because he just gets killed. It does not hold. So, in talking about this, my original plan was to bring Symbiote Spider-Man in. He is now out for City. Scarlet Spider is in. As you can see from my other videos, I've already brought Spider-Man and Ghost Spider up to Gear 16. Bringing any or all of the Web Warriors to Gear 16 is a very smart idea. Not only can you use them in Dark Dimension 5, whether or not they're the best or not doesn't matter. The fact that you're going to need them at Gear 16 plus for Morgan Le Fay's Scourge event as it keeps coming around to get higher and more gold stars on her, and whatever other things that Scopely makes us do with them is very relevant. You're probably going to need them at higher gear tail levels in the future. Gear 17, Gear 18, Gear 19, even. They're going to be a raid team for a little while. We don't know how many more raids we're going to get out of them. But they are the newest, so they're probably the last one to get redone. When we start talking about Dark Hunters, I am building up the Dark Hunters. Technically, Mordo is not a Dark Hunter. That's just a guy you use alongside them. He'll get the least amount of investment once I'm done. I have built up Elsa, who I love. Tons of fun to play with. And of course, I do have Dr. Voodoo. Where is he? He's right there. Need to get more stars on him. But I think he's going to play a part in the upcoming meta. Not meta. Just in general with that the Scourge event. The other thing I want to mention is if I'm bringing Scarlet Spider, and I'm bringing Ghost Spider already, and I'm bringing Spider-Man, who else do I bring with them? Obvious knee-jerk reaction right now out of people's mouths would be Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger take tons of gear, especially Dagger. Has tons of Mystic gear. I'll tell you right now, Cloak and Dagger are not going to Gear 16 for me. They are out. Instead, I will be bringing up Shang-Chi, who's a level 85 and I see more skill gear. I realized the problem with him in my original plan was with Kate was they used the same unique. So that gets me 4. The 5th will be Morbius. He is the last Dark Hunter. He's probably the key to that whole Dark Hunter team. Whether or not he's good in Dark Dimension will be irrelevant. I will probably need him for something in that Scourge event. Of course, having said all this, there's no real way I'm getting enough gear for Scarlet Spider, Shang-Chi, and Morbius to be ready to take them to Gear 16 tomorrow. It'll probably be a while. That Scourge event will probably come and go before any of them are Gear 16. Except maybe Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi's pretty close. So let me just flip over to my spreadsheet of my current plans. So I'm using that spreadsheet DD5 calculator that's been passed around. What my current plans are. These are very subject to change, obviously. I've changed them recently. I can mostly talk about my gear here too. And you can see my breakdown. I'm actually heavy on bio right now. Mystic and skill are actually quite high, and it's an okay balance. I have Ghost Spider and Spider-Man obviously done, 16. Shang-Chi 15, Scarlet Spider's at 15. Morbius, I just left it at tier 12. He'll be there as soon as I get my hands on him. He'll probably be gear 15 by the time I get my hands on him, or at least 14. I don't have anybody in global done. The current plan is Emma. I was considering Mr. Sinister because he is a 54 compared to a 72. But I ended up saying no to that because Emma is, with her ability just to slow characters down, is just going to be quite future-proof for a while. I can see her being still used. We don't know what that Darkhold team looks like. Could there be a mix and match where we do like Emma, Eternals, Morgan, somebody from the Darkhold team? Could be. Could be 4 of the Darkhold team and Emma, for all we know. Just to slow people down. Because I do see on that Darkhold team, Silver Surfer, since they said you want fast characters from Morgan Le Fay. Maybe Silver Surfer gets input from one of them. Depending on what their kits look like, how good they are. Cosmic, of course, Kestrel's already done. Icarus is already done. I'm not sure about Cersei anymore. Yes, I would love to have Icarus and Cersei both at 16, both in there. They would absolutely tear it up. The problem is because now I've chosen Morbius, he uses Uru for some odd reason. Don't know why they didn't do like Extremis, which is like blood, and he's a vampire. That's what they did, so double dipping again. Of course, we're both mystics, but the reason why I haven't changed this out for somebody else is the fact that that's still cosmic. I'm not even into city, much less through city and through global. I still have time to get those mini, the teal unique, sorry. And of course, over here in Legendary, I already have Mega Red done. Quite honestly, the next 4 by the time I actually get to Legendary with the way they're giving us gear, it could become Omega Red and the Four Horsemen. Black Bolt, Jubilee, Adam, Warlock, Doc Ock, they could all be out by the time I actually get there because of the way they're doing this teal gear crap. The most likely one to get knocked out next would be Adam Warlock. That's because he's a mystic character and Morgan Le Fay is a mystic character. More than likely, Morgan Le Fay, depending on what she costs, actually probably no matter what she costs, will be going in. Depending on how much she costs will determine if I bring Adam Warlock in or not. Depending on also her mini unique. Or her unique, I should say. I just don't see a world where I don't bring in Morgan Le Fay. Whether Black Bolt stays or goes, I'm not sure yet. This is way off in the planning. The other thing I forgot to mention was in Cosmic, I currently have Minerva penciled in. Reason being, she has tech, and she takes gamma radiation for her tail unique, which I have a bunch of. As you can see here, I am keeping up the numbers. Quantum Energy's Black Bolt. Tesseract was originally for Dagger, I originally had planned. Astral Energy has already been used, so I don't care. Molecular Cough. Originally I had Kate in here, I have Lady Deathstrike now in for Global. Global is very skill-based, very skill-heavy. And Lady Deathstrike takes Adamantium, which I have a ton of for some odd reason. I don't know. I also have a bunch of Miasma. I could actually do 2 Miasma characters. The only reason why I took Shang-Chi over Ghost Rider is Ghost Rider requires a ton of Mystic gear. So that's something else you have to think about all these things. The only thing that you could say is on my plans that are pretty bad: Ghost Spider, Alien Spore, Spider-Man, Oz Formula, Scarlet Spider, Oz Formula. I do have 8 right now, even after taking Spider-Man to Gear 16. With the way I'm getting gear, though, as you look, I literally need hundreds of pieces of just normal gear, including bio. With the rate I'm going, I'll probably get the Oz Formulas first, honestly. The other problem, of course, is the mini uniques. Don't need as many of them, but they seem to be very slow coming in. And we don't even want to talk about catalysts. They just kind of come as they come. So let's go back to the roster for a second. Now you remember I also said that Cloak and Dagger are out of city. Yeah, where is my Cloak and Dagger? There's my Dagger. She's already 85. You see, the problem is each one of these pieces is teal gear. This is why she's out. I would not even consider Deathpool right now for Gear 16. She doesn't need it to do her job, obviously. And it's just too much Mystic gear again. The other issue is Cloak and Dagger might be out of raids very soon. With Morgan Le Fay, as we saw in her kit, let's go back. So once again, if we look at this kit for Morgan Le Fay, she's giving quite a bit of sustain, and there's only one thing tied to Arena. Could we be looking at a Mystic raid team that does not include Cloak and Dagger, but does maybe they say like Deathpool, the Eternals, and Morgan Le Fay? Can you imagine what would happen if she was getting energy from Deathpool? Could be quite a raid team. And I think Cloak and Dagger would be out. Again, another reason why not to build Cloak and Dagger now. And how this vlog has changed everything. In our DD planning, in our raids. Unfortunately, the only thing they haven't changed is the tech team, which we're still getting screwed over on. So, I hope you take this into consideration. Plan out your building correctly. I wouldn't jump to, like, say, building Scarlet Witch right now. We don't know anything about it, but keep her on your radar. Build those Web Warriors, build Dark Hunters, knowing that you'll need them for probably a good while with the way they're looking at the Scourge events. And until next time, everybody,